Let's talk to God. One more thing, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, let's talk to God. Woo!
Good evening, everybody. How's everyone? It is the 16th of November. We're over the halfway mark in the month, and I hope you all are doing well. I'm looking forward to these 1,800 seconds that we're going to spend together. This station, this virtual book club, this YouTube channel, it's all about inspiration. It's about motivation, and it is about striving our best to show up our best selves, even in the worst of situations. Doesn't matter what those situations are. No negativity, no pessimism. We're going to show up our best selves, even in the worst of situations. We have a whole lot of opportunities to show up our best selves. How about that, you all? And so I want to say thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for committing to sharing this 1,800 seconds together. So wherever you've allowed me to come into, thank you all so very much for that. So again, for people who are just stopping by for the first time, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe. And after you subscribe, click on that notification bell. Now listen, it's either down there or up there, over there somewhere. Wherever it is, click on that notification bell because it lets you know whenever I've gone live. Like I am now. I really am live, you all. This is not Memorex. I'm really here. But it lets you know whenever I've gone live or whenever I've uploaded new content. I want to shout out the LTTC VIPs, those who beat me over into the chat early this evening. I mean, you all were jumping into this chat very quickly, and I'm so thankful. I always love to see people come into a room and speak to everybody and say hello. So happy Thursday to everybody. Happy 16th of November. Happy, it's almost Thanksgiving. It's almost Christmas. It's almost everything. It's almost the end of the year. Thank you all for tuning in. And again, you know, one of the things that I strive to communicate on this platform is that we are striving to be better people. We're striving to make sure that we showed up better today than we did yesterday. We're striving to make sure that we are showing up better tomorrow than we did even today. That is because we are always evolving. The world is dynamic. The world is changing, and we want to be equipped to handle the situations that are sometimes tossed our way without our control, without our influence, without anything that we had to do with it. Sometimes things are just tossed in your lap. Sometimes you're dealt a hand and you have to learn how to play it. And you know what I said? I just said this to somebody last week. I may not win every hand, but I'm not going to lose the game. And this thing that's called the game of life, you're not going to lose. Now, you may not, you may have some setbacks, some pushbacks, some knockbacks, all of those sorts of things. But when you have a positive attitude, a positive mindset, I promise you, you don't lose. You don't lose. I don't even know where that came from. I just wanted to share that with somebody. Let me see who's over in this chat. Tell somebody, come on and let's talk to color, because tonight we're going to talk about how to be more self-disciplined. The holidays are coming up. We have to be self-disciplined in our eating. We have to be self-disciplined in our spending. We have to be self-disciplined in so many things. And I tell you all why I honed in on the notion of being self-disciplined. I read something that said, I discovered that self-love includes self-discipline. Almost knocked me off my feet, because we're always talking about this whole notion of self-love. You got to love yourself. And yes, I'm a strong proponent of that. I know you all are too. But I want to ask you all this as we get started. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at self-discipline? Oh, I can't hear anything. I was waiting to see how many people were going to respond. But I need to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, we're going to get started with that conversation this evening. But on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not so good, 10 being exceptional or excellent, how good are you at self-discipline? Now, think the holidays are upon us, and I'm thinking of things like shopping and spending and eating and socializing and hopping on the rumor mill and the gossip bandwagon and all of that kind of stuff. How good are we at self-discipline? Let me see who's over here in the chat. I'll shout you all out for just a minute. But the 3 people that I see in the chat who made it first are Bobby Dunmore, Hattie Boone, and T. Cutler. So happy Thursday. Good evening to all of you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to talk. I want you all to just start. Go ahead. I want you all to go ahead and start talking to me, because I'm curious to see how many people How many people are, how are you rating yourselves? Now, the question is, how good are you at self-discipline? T. Cutler says the holidays don't count. The holidays don't count, but when it comes to eating, when it comes to shopping, when it comes to spending, when it comes to socializing, when it comes to the rumor mill and the gossip mill, how good are you at discipline? How good are you at self-discipline? Let's see. Uh, Let me see what people are saying. Somebody said an 8. I would say an 8. An 8. The holidays don't count. One person said a 5. One person said when it comes to food, 9. When it comes to shoes, 2. You all talk to me. I'm curious. I want to know how we are doing in the area of self-discipline, because self-love, I read it somewhere today. So let me see if I can find it. I read today that self-love, I want to get the quote. I realized that self-love includes self-discipline. So I want to see Linda, because of Linda, they're laughing at your answer. 9 when it comes to food, but 2 when it comes to shoes. All right, but let's talk about it. Tell people, come on, let's talk because we're going to talk about self-discipline this evening. So if you're not over in the chat, if you haven't said hello yet, come on and say hello. I want to check and see how are we doing on this notion of self-discipline. Then I have another question that's just totally unrelated. I'm going to try to get to it. I'm going to make a note, write myself a note to remember. I told you all I use posters for everything, didn't I? I'm going to make a note right here because I'm going to ask you all another question before our 18 seconds in. But let's talk about this thing. Let's talk about self-discipline, because if we're going to talk about self-love and self-value and taking care of ourselves and all those sorts of things, it has to start with self-discipline, you all. It really does have to start with self-discipline. I think it was the philosopher Plato who said the first and best victory is to conquer self. That is your best victory. You don't worry about conquering anything, any concept, any lesson or anybody. You don't even think about conquering anything until we've learned how to conquer ourselves. Because what is this about? It's about learning how to lead myself. A lot of times people want to be leaders. They want to lead other people. But the truth of, oh my God, I don't want to get in trouble when I say this. A lot of times people want to be leaders. They want to lead other people. They want to influence other people. But the truth of the matter is some folk don't even know how to lead themselves. They don't even know how to lead themselves in the daytime with a flashlight. And I know we think of self-discipline when it comes to things like an all-you-can-eat buffet or when the what is it, the Powerball or the Mega Millions, when it's up so high and everybody has to run and play, or when you're just tired and you don't feel like doing anything. What happens to self-discipline in moments like that? Because with discipline and self-control, we really do accomplish more of our goals than we can imagine. On one hand, we define our goals or we set goals, but on the other hand, we accomplish goals. And self-discipline is the bridge that gets us from setting goals to accomplishing goals. Can I say that again? Self-discipline is the bridge that gets us from setting goals to accomplishing goals. And we need to step back a lot of times and say, I wonder why I didn't, never mind what everybody else is doing, but I wonder why I did not accomplish my goals. I set them, and I listen to what a lot of other people say about setting goals. You got to set goals. You got to write them down on post-its. You got to speak them. You got to write them and post them around your house and remind yourself of them and write the vision and all those sorts of things. But I wonder why I still did not accomplish my goals. Might it be that although you set goals, you did not have the self-discipline that got you to the point of accomplishing the goals? Can I put up both of my hands and tell y'all I'm guilty of this too? Self-discipline is really, really something. And Plato was onto something when he said the first and best victory is to conquer yourself. Because a lot of times we say, oh, I'm the captain of my ship and all of those sorts of things. But what happens to self-discipline when somebody cuts you off in traffic? Oh my, Cutler, are you really going there? Yeah, I just want to go there because I want us to be mindful of these sorts of things. And we talk about motivation and inspiration on this platform, but we also talk about challenging and challenges. What happens when somebody makes us when they make us upset and they make us angry? Do you fly off the handle? Do you respond in a way that is not congruent with your integrity, that is not consistent with your character, or maybe it is consistent with your character and congruent with your integrity? What happens to self-discipline when our emotions go from 1 to 100 in 5 seconds and we are uncontrollable? We're saying everything out of our mouths because somebody ticked us off, somebody made us mad, and in an instant, self-discipline went out of the window. I'm trying to get us to show up our best selves even in the worst of situations. Because it's not so much that you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. In that moment, you have put your character and your integrity on the line, and you don't always get a chance to go back and redeem it. I want to grab the seat and say, I'm talking tonight. Yes, Cutler, you're talking. And here I am talking to myself. But it is so true, you all. See, I don't take chances with my character. I used to when I was younger. I don't take chances with my integrity. I used to when I was younger. And I would say, oh, okay, you know what? I got time to clean that up. I got time to make that right. But now at this point, you all, I say, no, I don't have time to clean it up. I don't have time to make it right. What I need to do is handle it right in the first place. The first time it comes my way, I need to handle it the best I can. I need to show up my best self, even in the worst of situations. That is self-discipline. What are you saying, Cutler? I'm challenging us this evening. I'm challenging us to be more self-disciplined. Of course, I asked for us to rate ourselves on a scale of 1 to 10 with how good are we at self-discipline, at being self-disciplined. But I put that out there because I want us to know there's room for growth. There's room for us to do better. There really is. Think about all the times, think about all of the times, think about all of the times, maybe not all of them, Cutler, but think about some of the times when you've just flown off the handle, gotten mad and and nobody could control you. Or you said things that you know after the fact, or maybe in the moment you knew you should not have said them. Or maybe you went out to the mall, you went shopping and you were spending and I'm not saying anything, Cousin Linda, but you already had 175 pairs of shoes and you just came home with 10 more. So now you got 185 pairs of shoes. Let's think about it. We really have to think about that. You see, I don't want to cause my I don't want my character. I don't want my integrity to be indicted. Don't want them. I don't want my character or my integrity to be indicted, to be put on the line, to be found guilty and foolishly charged. Or perhaps I be charged for acting foolishly. It is important. It is so very important because if you really love yourself, if you really love yourself, you would discipline yourself. You got to get the last word in. That is not self-discipline. Neither is it self-love because you're risky with your behavior. You're risky with your character. You're risky with your integrity. You're risky with your life. I think about young people who have to say what they want to say, do what they want to do. And ultimately what happens is that you've risked your future. You've risked your life. Got to be careful. I just had this conversation with my 12-year-old earlier this week. Self-discipline is so important, even at his age. Absolutely. Once we say things, we can't take it back. Self-discipline of the tongue. Absolutely, T. Cutler, you're absolutely right. I often say this, and I didn't make up this quote, but once the bell has rung, you can't unring it. You can't. And when you empty the glass, we are proverbial glasses of water. And when you empty this glass of water, when you empty it of your character, when you empty it of your integrity, when you empty it of your goodness, when you empty it of your value, people remember the glass empty. You might come back and fill it up over time, but people will remember when it was empty, and they will remember what it looked like, what it felt like when you emptied it out on them. Let me just keep going. Got to be self-disciplined, you all. And we've got to teach the next generation how to be self-disciplined. T. Cutler, I applaud you. So one of the things, even as adults, we've got to be self-disciplined. What does it mean? It means knowing your strengths and knowing your weaknesses. You got to know your strengths. You got to know your weaknesses. If you have a desire for things that are not necessarily healthy, you've got to know that. When we have compulsions and obsessions, we've got to be careful. Because see, when I talk about strengths and weaknesses, I'm not talking about just being able to walk in front of a buffet and not load my plate up with stuff. But I'm talking about our compulsions and what kind of compulsive behavior do I have? Obsessions. What am I obsessed with? What am I unable to control myself when I'm in the face of? So this is not just food and spending, but it's about behavior. It's about personality. It's about attitude. It's about all of those things. And yes, sometimes it may be genetic. I'm like this because my mama was like this. I'm like this, because my daddy was like this. My daddy didn't mind. He didn't hold his peace. He said whatever came to mind. I'm not trying to talk about anybody's mama or daddy. I'm talking about us. I'm talking about us. Because weaknesses come in lots of areas, you all. A lack of self-control comes in a lot of areas. And a lot of times we make excuses because I'm just like my mom and I'm like my mom and my daddy. They didn't take nothing and I ain't taking nothing either. And you think that's okay. You think that's excusable. You've got to strive to tackle your weaknesses, whether they are genetic, whether they are nurtured, whether they are innate. However they came about, you've got to learn how to confront your weaknesses face to face. Your compulsions, your obsessions, you've got to learn how to tackle those things face to face. Become self-aware of your weaknesses. Self-love means that I'm self-aware of my lack of self-discipline. It does. Yes, it does. I want us to be aware of these things, you all. And then not only must we become aware of our weaknesses and our strengths, but we have to learn how to remove the temptations. Learn how to remove the temptations. If you know certain things tempt you, get rid of them. Don't walk in them. Don't stand in the face of them. Oscar Wilde said, I can resist anything except temptation. See, it's not always the thing. It is the temptation of the thing. It's almost like out of sight, out of mind. Why don't we practice removing temptations from our environment? Why don't we practice removing ourselves sometimes from the temptation? If you know young people in school, when you are in school and you're tempted to act up and cut up because you're by somebody, why don't you ask the teacher, can you move me from by them? Has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with me. If you know you're going to clown and act up, how about asking the teacher, can you move? Or ask the teacher to assign you another seat. T Color, I put that one out there for you, so you can offer that one to my to my younger cousin. Ask the teacher, can you move me? May I move? Because I'm going to get in trouble sitting here, and when I go home after having gotten in trouble in school, this is not going to set well with my parents. It works well for all of us. Whether we are 7, 17, 27, 37, 47, 57, 87, 97, or 107, we need to remove ourselves. It's not always removing the temptation. Sometimes you need to remove yourself. Let me see what you all are saying. Let's see, somebody says, you're killing me. I'm not trying to kill you, honestly. I'm just trying to get us to see this. Remove yourself from the situation. Yes, have self-control. Temptations are always chasing me. Done more, they're always chasing all of us. Don't put Tracy Wright, don't put yourselves in tempting situations. By now, at a certain age, you know yourself. You know what tempts you. You know what tempts you to act up. You know what tempts you to act out of character. Put yourself out of that situation. Put yourself out of that situation. I think about people who have successfully walked into sobriety, have successfully walked away from certain drugs and narcotics and alcohol and all of those things. I think about it, and I think about how tempting it must be to be in the presence of others who are doing the thing that you say that you just defeated. I applaud you, I commend you, but I also know that there are some people who don't care about what you just defeated. They know what you just defeated. They know what victories you're walking in, and they will bring the temptation right in front of you, and they won't care about you at all. Cutler, how and why in the world would you say that they don't care about you? Because they know what you just went through. They know the victory that you just recognized, and they put the temptation right back in front of you. And then when you fall prey to it, they will say, oh, I thought you quit. I'm talking about real life situations, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm trying to help save somebody's life because I have seen people walk into sobriety. And then I've seen other people know that the person walked into sobriety. And they put out all kinds of stuff in front of them, all kinds of liquor, all kinds of alcohol. And I'm not talking, listen, I'm not talking about drinking. I'm really, really not. I'm just using this as an example. But I've seen people go through this 12-step program, applaud themselves, celebrate their victories, and get in that place of sobriety, and they share their victory. And then after they share their victory with some people, some of those people don't care about their victory no more than they care about walking on the ground. I think my example was going to become too colorful. What am I saying? Saw them in a place of sobriety, and other people just said, hey, here, you want something to drink? No, I don't want anything to drink. I told you, I'm good now. I'm clean. I'm dry. Walk around, going around on the next day. Hey, you want anything to drink? He just told you he stopped drinking. Why in the world would you keep offering somebody liquor and alcohol and all that, and they told you they stopped drinking? You don't care about their victories. You don't care about the temptations. So, Cutler, what are you saying? I'm saying you all, I know you may have enjoyed that person's company, but sometimes you have to put yourself out of temptation's way. And sometimes it means disconnecting yourself and removing yourself from certain people. I just have to say that. It bothers me. It bothers me. And can you tell I've seen that happen before you all? It bothers me when people win certain victories and other people don't care about their victories, and they put them right back in harm's way, right back in right on the landing strip of temptation. They'll put them right there. That's a lack of love. That's a lack of concern. That's a lack of courtesy. And that's a lack of respect. So we have to remove ourselves from temptation. What? Let me just catch up with what misery loves company. You're absolutely right. Sometimes misery loves company. So I'm telling you all, we've got to know our strengths and weaknesses, and may we, I deputize all of us, you all, may we take this. I am so compassionate and passionate about this message tonight, you all. I really, really am. May we take this message and help other people to become more self-disciplined. May we take this message and help other people in their moments of temptation, in their moments of weakness. May we take this and help somebody else. Don't let's just help ourselves tonight, you all. But please share this message. Not that I'm trying to get numbers up, but I want people to live victorious lives. I want us to live our best selves. Take this and share it with somebody, even if you don't point them back to this broadcast or to this replay. Take this message out and share it with them yourselves. Tell people you got to know your strengths. You got to know your weaknesses. You got to know how to remove yourself from temptations. And then learn how to set clear goals. Because remember, I said the bridge from goal setting to goal accomplishment, the bridge is often self-discipline. And so sometimes we're on this side and we didn't even set the goals. Let's help people set goals. What is it that you're trying to do? What is it that you want to accomplish? What is it that you're trying to achieve? What victory are you trying to obtain? Tracy, I'm with you. If you're on a diet, why go to lunch with someone at a barbecue restaurant when you can only eat the beans or a salad? Right. And sometimes we say, but I'm good. I just want to hang out with you. But you're trying to hang out with the person, but the person's going to do something. And it's not that the person's being, in this case, not that the person's being evil or ill-intended. But it's just you say you need to be self-disciplined enough to say, you know what? No. If I'm on a diet now, I can go out with you if you decide to go to the mall and shop, because my shopping now, I'm good with shopping. But I'm dieting. I'm trying to eat I'm trying to develop a healthier way of eating. Why would you go to a barbecue restaurant all you can eat one of that? I've been guilty of being a sugar pusher, but as I get myself, and you know what, Juanita, you're not the only one. I had to think about this. Because I'm telling you, I had to work with. I'm getting better with not buying candy and cookies. You know what, Juanita? Let me just tell you this. I think it was last week. I looked in my kitchen and I said, you know what? Throw it in the trash. Throw it in the trash, because a part of me said, oh, well, listen, whenever my godchildren come over or relatives or my younger cousins come over and whenever they come over, I want to make sure that I have stuff. Well, it's not like they were here every day. And I'd open the cupboard and I would look at it and it would look at me. And there were days when I would look at it and it would call my name. And one day it called my name and I said, nope, you're going right in the trash. I'm telling you, we have to learn how to set goals, you all, because if we're going to get on the side of goal accomplished, we have to at least say goal set. And the bridge between a set goal and accomplished goal is self-discipline. I tell you, I may have to pick this thing back up next time we get together, which will be Tuesday, because we need to work on this. We have got to work on this, you all. Don't let people push you into something. Don't let people take you someplace. And don't you take people someplace where they don't need to go. Don't you push other people places where they don't need to go. And learn how to get yourself out of harm's way. And by harm, I'm talking about the temptation. If we're going to be self-disciplined people, then my goodness, let's be self-disciplined people. I know I'm going to have to pick this up and talk about it the next time we're here. I will. I'll pick it up the next time we're here. Let me say thank you all for just spending these 1,800 seconds with me. And then listen, the question I was going to ask you all was, when did you put up your Christmas decorations? But I can pick that up the next time we get together, and just for fun and games, just ask you all about when you put up your Christmas decorations. But I'm telling you, I am so passionate about this conversation this evening about making sure that we're self-disciplined. Because if we're going to say that we love ourselves, then for goodness sake, God's sake, and our sake, if we're going to say we love ourselves, let's learn how to discipline ourselves. Let's keep doing what we do, you all. Let's keep building community. Let's keep maintaining connectivity. Let's stay safe, stay sane. Keep your heads up. Keep your hopes up. Keep your levels of self-discipline up. Tell somebody else, come on and let's talk to Cutler. Let's do what we do, you all. I'm telling you that the next time we come together, tell people, you all, please come on. We're going. The holidays are coming, and we need to talk about how to be self-disciplined, how not to spend all your money, how not to eat everything, how not to say everything, how not to do everything, how to control ourselves, I got to go. How to control our spendings, how to control our mouths, how to control our eyes, how to control, just how to control. Good night. Tell somebody else, come on, let's talk to Cutler. Please know that from my heart to yours, there is love and always will be. All right. So good night. I'll see you the next time I see you. I got to get out here. I got to go. Bye.